EmceeTV.
All right. What's good, yo? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. On today's podcast on EmceeTV, I got my homeboy, Kyler Tobias.
What's up, man?
What's good, bro?
Glad to be here, dude.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through to rock with me.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my first podcast ever, so.
Hell yeah. Well,
See
we're
how it
getting it in at the Lightroom studio in Des Moines, Iowa. So, all right. So for the folks that don't know, give them a quick breakdown on you and you know, a little insight on who you are and your music background.
Okay. My name's Kyler Tobias. Born in Cedar Rapids, raised in Ankeny, basically my whole life. Started writing music when I was about 16, probably just a little poetry, nothing with any instrumentals, just getting my feelings on paper and whatnot. Kind of started taking it more seriously the past couple years with the Get You Some Battle League and with live shows at Lefties mainly. Kind of just like to keep it as authentic as possible, stay true to myself with my writing and with my music and with my character. And that's really about it. I just like to express myself through the music. It really helps me more than anything, honestly.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, so I've seen you perform a few times at various spots. I've seen a couple of your Get You Some. How many battles have you done with Get You Some?
I'm 1-4, so I've done 5.
Okay.
Don't have the best record, but
Hey.
I'm getting out there.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to put yourself out,
Oh,
especially in
dude.
that manner. I mean, it's not just getting up and performing. It's performing and I mean, you're literally being judged, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because even though it may not be a judged battle, the crowd's interacting and oohs and ahs
Yep.
and
All just standing around you in a circle, basically just watching you guys just kind of go at each other's throats, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm excited to get in on one of those. I've been talking to Crazy about trying to get in on one, and we had one set up a little while back, and it didn't end up going through. But I was supposed to go against Sticky, Aaron Chevelle. We still gonna do that. We still gonna do that.
I saw him battle Elite. I'm pretty sure he battled Elite the 2 events ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I saw his battle with Blue that he
Okay.
did online,
Okay.
and yeah, I'm excited to get in there and try my swing at it and see.
Yeah, I
how
might have
do.
to take you as my opponent, Steve. I might have to get back in there and take you on.
Well, fuck. Here we go. we lining
Crazy,
shit up
you might
right
have
now.
to set something up. You might
There
have
we
to set
go.
it up.
We were actually even talking about. So we're at the Lightroom here in Des Moines. We were talking about hosting it here.
Ooh.
Just because at that point, Crazy Baby was looking for a venue,
Right.
and we were like, hey, we could do it here. You know, we got the lights and you know the whole setup, and so we had offered this. We didn't end up nailing it down because things just didn't go through for that event. But I believe it's still on the table. I mean, there wasn't a hard no by either side, so I think it's a possibility we could end up doing it in
This
here.
wouldn't be a bad spot to do it. This would not be a bad spot.
What do they usually have? Like 20, 25 people? 30
Oh,
people?
no, a little bit more than that, yeah. I mean, I would say, close to 50. I mean,
Okay,
we're at
nice.
damn near 50. It gets pretty packed in there. The Industry Sounds one, you can't really tell. It's a little bit smaller, so everyone's kind of cramped. But, I mean, there's a good amount of people.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. I saw it 20. When was COVID? COVID started 2019? No,
Yeah, 20.
end of 2019,
Yeah,
beginning of 2020.
yeah,
It fucked
something
up
like
all
that.
of 2020.
Yep.
So I saw, I think it's coming out the TV. I saw A Ward battle on Get You Some.
Against Hungry, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, that battle was sick to watch. I didn't get to see it in person, obviously, but that battle was sick. Hungry held his own, but
did.
it's A-Ward, though.
Right.
It's A-Ward.
He's a fucking beast.
Yeah. I'm just glad he came out and get you some love. Just to
Yeah.
even come out there was dope.
So I didn't know a tremendous amount about A Ward back then. My little brother Cap put me up on him. He's an avid battle watcher. He's fucking ridiculous with it. And so he was the one that put me up on him. And he was like, bro, you got to peep out this dude A Ward. He's out of Kansas City. He's dope as fuck. And so I started checking him out. And we were actually working on a track with A Ward when he came up here to battle. I put together the EmceeTV cipher on our first record, Back to Bars Volume 1. And it had... it started, actually, that was where, in a weird roundabout way, that was where the first Back to Bars record kind of started. I mean, there's some other, I actually started with 3 tracks in 2009, but those had been on the back burner. So when I got back into it and dove back in head first, that was the first track we started assembling, was the cipher. And it started with the homie Ren Thomas. And we ended up linking up, and he did he did a verse for me, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like a cypher type of thing, blah blah blah. And then we ended up getting Mickey Fax on the track next, and Mickey's hardcore in the battle scene. I mean, a true fucking lyricist. And then we ended up, after Mickey, my little brother Cap said he would drop a verse on it, the homie Drama Mafia had produced the track for me, and he and I kind of put it together, and it was just a real simple break beat that we made on the South Side in his studio back when he had it over there. And I kind of went off on a tangent here, but we ended up getting A-Ward on it, and A-Ward did his verse right when he was getting ready to go on his honeymoon with his wife. He did his verse for us, and then I went to Kansas City and filmed with A-Ward, and then I flew out to New York with my best friend Matt and my little brother Cap, and we went and filmed with Ren Thomas and then Mickey Fax on the subway, and none of us had ever been to New York, and fucking we were just wandering around New York with a bunch of cameras and
New York City.
Yeah. And we went out and fucking we got to see the birthplace of hip hop.
All right.
And it was dope as fuck. But my whole point to that was I got to meet A-Ward for the first time at that battle. Chef Trey was there. He was one of the other Chef Trey.
I couldn't tell you.
He's another battle rapper. I'm fucking up his name. But he's another big name battle rapper as well. And my little brother was like, oh yeah, that dude, he's a beast too. But they were the two kind of headliners that Get You Some had brought in to battle for that card. And it was I can't believe I can't remember dude's fucking name. Chef Trey. He battled oh fuck, who's the skinnier dude that's been on URL? Well, I'll put it on.
Right, it will be on the screen.
Yeah, I'll put it on here down at the bottom because I can't think of either one of their names. I'm not doing them justice. But regardless, and then it was Hungry and A-Ward.
Yeah, and that really started to Get You Some on the map. That's when Get You Some really started to gain some traction too, and at least throughout the city. I mean, they have a really loyal fan base.
Yeah,
super loyal fan base.
Yep. And that was my first introduction to it, but that was a dope ass battle.
Right.
And it was at Vaudeville Muse.
Yeah, place looked nice.
Yep. And that was right before, unfortunately, we lost the Muse because the Muse didn't survive COVID.
Right.
And so they just, they let their lease go after 20 years, and they were like, we can't hold up a building when we don't know when live performances are ever going to come back. So
sad.
Yeah, it was fucked up, but definitely a very cool opportunity to get to see them battle, and that was kind of where I first started working with battle rappers. You know what I mean? Like, I'd always been a fan of it. I grew up watching Scribble Jam. I don't know if you know what Scribble Jam is.
I don't.
So Scribble Jam is where Iron Solomon and a lot. So this was before this was before. I told you don't tap, and then I just tapped my finger. This is where Iron Solomon, Mac Lethal. A lot of those MCs before written battles were a thing, before KOTD and URL and Grind Time.
Smack.
Yep. So Smack was doing DVDs back then.
Oh.
And so this who were the Smack MCs that battled? There was Loaded Lux and Hollow the Dawn, and those dudes were all battling in shops and shit in New York, and they were filming it, and they were coming out on DVD. They weren't on the internet yet. And so this was like, I actually just found a case of DVDs that I had bought. I have the old Smack
vintage.
DVDs
That's
and
vintage.
shit. Yeah.
That's vintage.
Scribble Jam started with the dudes from, so it started with Scribble Magazine, which was like a hip hop graffiti magazine out of Ohio.
Okay.
And it started in Cincinnati. And these a DJ named Mr. Dibbs and Scribble Magazine teamed up together, and they held the epicenter for hip hop. And so it was like they would get a whole wall of blank slate for graffiti artists to come out and tag. And so you and I would, if we were taggers, right, we're a tagging crew, we would get like a 4x6 slab of wall to tag. And it was sanctioned, you know what I mean? Nobody's gonna get arrested or anything. We could go out there and tag it up. And there was another crew or a single dude or whatever working next to us, and that was his 4x6 slab of wall. And then it was judged, and they would pick the best MCs. The best graffiti artists.
Right.
And then they had b-boy battles. And so crews would come and they would have dance offs on stage, and the DJs were throwing down, and crews would battle in front of all of these people. and it turned into a whole party. It was like a 3-day weekend in Cincinnati.
I wish I did stuff like that still.
And so they used to. It just ended. So I'll keep going. So they used to do all that, and then it covered all 4 elements of hip hop. So there was the graffiti, there was the b-boy. They had MC battles, and that's kind of how we ended up on this topic. There was Mac Lethal, Iron Solomon, my homie Black Pegasus battled under a dude. His name was Your Mama's Pimp. Who was the dude from Chicago that was on the track with Kanye? Oh fuck, he was a huge battle rapper. RJ, help me out. Who was the dude that was on the track? Kanye's big hit.
Not Talib.
No, not Talib Kweli. He's kind of a Rhyme Fest.
Okay.
It was Rhyme Fest, and the dude Recognize battled out there. But these were not a cappella battles. They were over a beat. You got 30 seconds. It was me and you standing there back to back, one mic. They passed it back and forth, and there was 5,000 people in a crowd.
Right.
And that's how they judged who went on, was by crowd appearance.
Like an 8 Mile.
Yeah. And Eminem actually battled at Scribble Jam. There's video footage of him battling a dude named Juice, and he lost. But they weren't pre-written, so you had to come off the cuff. And so sometimes, dudes would fumble a little bit and whatever. But yeah, man, I mean, some of the most creative motherfuckers you've ever seen were up here dropping, and it was 100% acapella, and it was nasty.
That's
and
dope.
And so, but from there, they also had MC performances. So they had Pharoah Monch and dope, not rappers. They had hip came out and rocked the mic, and it was like a 3-day festival in Cincinnati, Ohio, and it was the epicenter for hip hop. But they weren't able to keep it going. They had cash issues, because when you don't have huge name, you know what I mean? That's kind of an elite group. I mean, you and I would love it, and
Right.
RJ would love it, but
Right.
but when you don't draw in 25, 30,000 people, when you don't draw in 100,000 people, this is a big budget. You know what I mean? You got to pay for the stage. You got to pay all those people to set up the stage and lighting and security, and you got to rent the venue. You know what I mean? That's cash. It's money. And so it unfortunately didn't last. So if you're familiar with Scribble Jam, I'm sorry. So that was Scribble Jam. If you're familiar with Soundset was what the dudes from Rhymesayers from Atmosphere. So Atmosphere performed at it as well. Idea from Atmosphere, Idea and Abilities. Idea performed at it. DJ Abilities was one of the turntable DJs that competed, and then Slug and Ant went and performed in it as well. And so this got really lengthy, but I'm bringing it full circle here.
Right, bring it around.
So from Scribble Jam, the dudes from Atmosphere out of Minnesota saw all this go down, and they were able to take that exact same blueprint, give or take, and take it up to Minnesota and annually throw a festival called Soundset. And I think it was Rose Entertainment was who they teamed up with. I went to it 3 years in a row. Fucking phenomenal,
bet,
bro.
dude,
Next level. I've got some amazing pictures and videos, and one of the best times of my life. And they had 5 different stages. I got to see Just Blaze from fucking yeah, bro. I got to see DMX. I saw Run the Jewels.
Rest in peace.
I saw Wu-Tang. I saw Talib Kweli and Mos Def.
Right.
I saw, I mean, you name it, bro. Hip hop legends. The
time.
graffiti was next level. The b-boy contest, dudes breaking and shit.
Right.
But they also, so they figured out you got to pay the bills, right? And so on top of all these hip hop legends and pioneers that laid it down and held it down for the culture, they brought in headliners and paid them big money to pack the crowd. So they brought in Wu-Tang one year to headline. They brought in, I mean, they were on top of other artists. You know what I mean? It was Erykah Badu. It was Russ. It was Wu-Tang. They all hit the same stage that year. It was the biggest hip hop festival in the world. It was hosted by Sway from Sway in the Morning, and he would broadcast live from their record label, which was also their store called The Fifth Element. So I told you there's 4 elements of hip hop. They called their store The Fifth Element.
Genius.
All
Genius.
fitting, right?
Genius.
Yeah, and so this was just it was an insane fucking thing to get to see. And so this went on from like I think they started rocking that in like 2009, and they did it, and it started in like a fucking Target parking lot, and it grew and grew and grew, and we got to go to the last 3 or 4 years of it, and right before COVID hit in 2019 was the last year they did it. Lil Wayne headlined, and they chose not to do it again for whatever reason, but it was a beautiful fucking thing to see. I mean, to be able to see that and see what they did for hip hop culture was next level, because it really was. It embodied everything about fucking hip hop.
And the closest thing we have now is like 515 Alive. I mean, that's the only thing I can really think of.
That's our local.
Yeah, I got to see that. That's where I saw Hobson and Tech Nine. They shared a stage that year. They had a song out that year, "Rip Your Heart Out." They performed "Rip Your Heart Out" at 515 Alive. That was dope.
Hell
and then
yeah!
You got like the EDM and all that other stuff. So
dope.
Crazy good time. The sound set, that would be. I wish I would have been of age. 2009. I was only like what, 12.
Okay.
So I wouldn't even.
Yeah, I got some years.
Yeah, you do got a little bit of years.
I was born in '84,
right,
so
born in 97.
2009 I was
20.
No, I was older than that.
Oh yeah, 84.
I had kids in 2009, bro. Let's see. I was like 25.
Yeah, 25.
26. Yeah, either way. But yeah, it was monumental to get to see something like that. I went off on a crazy long tangent.
No, you're good. But, something I needed to hear too.
But yeah, I mean, and actually, the Scribble Jam stuff is almost, it's tough to find anymore. You can't even hardly find it. I just bought the DVDs off of eBay because you can't even find them anymore. And so to me, as a huge hip hop fanatic, that's just something that a guy has to have. You know what I mean? Like that's just something that should be in the fucking Smithsonian of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like this is where some of the coolest shit in the world that took lyricism for hip hop. I mean, like, not to take away from any of the dope MCs, because there's been so many dope MCs along the way that have pushed that. You know what I mean? Like Nas. Nas is a fucking pioneer of lyricism. You know what I mean? But then, I mean, we end up in this day and age in 2022, and we've got bits and pieces of mumble rap still around. You know what I mean? So bars and lyricism have kind of lost the weight. I guess, you know what I mean?
All about beats now.
Yeah. And so to me, it's kind of like, it's wild that to see something as dope as fucking, like, just to watch that roller coaster, to watch something as dope and cool as Scribble Jam, people coming off the cuff and dropping some of the sickest rhyme schemes you've fucking seen.
And freestyling's not easy either, people. It's not
especially
easy.
over, like, yeah, just keeping the tempo on beat and all of that. Yeah, I mean, and so you go from there to rap, you know what I mean, and shit just kind of loses its focus. Then it's kind of coming back, because I mean, if you look at, there's some dope MCs that are really pushing.
Definitely,
I mean, like we've got Joyner Lucas.
Definitely is.
And you know,
love
a lot
Joyner.
of these dope MCs that are back pushing the bar game, and so in my mind, I'm a fan of bars. You know what I mean?
Me too.
The lyrical pattern and everything, and beats are fucking phenomenal. I love that, but.
The double and triple entendres that they think of is their schemes is just ridiculous. That's why I fell in love with battle rap, is just like the schemes of everything and how you can even think about that, and for us to understand it, it's crazy. It's
and the layers to it,
like an onion.
Yeah, so it's kind of dope to see all that. Yo, what's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. Hey, we had a quick little hiccup there with some audio, so we circle back around, but we back
and better than ever.
That's right. We were talking about Scribble Jam and just how we're both huge fans of bars and how prevalent they are in the shit that we listen to. But a lot of youngsters they haven't had an opportunity to experience bars like some of the people that we've seen, especially on the battle scene. You know what I mean? Like those dudes really come with bars.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about it.
Yeah,
the battle rappers is where I've heard some of the craziest bars, and crazy sport. Yeah. Crazy sport.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a sport, too. You know what I mean?
Definitely, 100% is, man. You're up there and you're sweating and you're nervous and you're going at the dude's throat. He's coming right back, if not harder. It's crazy, man. It's definitely a mental game for sure.
Yeah, and even if you come with, you know, I mean, like nowadays they do pre-writtens and stuff,
Yep.
but you still got to ad lib. You
Oh,
got to
yeah.
rebuttal.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't write I mean, you can maybe have bits and
You
pieces,
plan for it.
planned but rebuttals. Yeah, but like if you know a dude does a whole bunch of gun bars, you can maybe have some gun bar rebuttals or whatever. But if you have too many scripted rebuttals, I think it's gonna stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're definitely gonna have to incorporate. You got to have some freestyle. You got to incorporate.
Oh, yeah.
So
And that was one of my biggest issues because I started bringing props for every opponent that I had. Like I'd bring like either a toy gun or I brought a can of dog food one time. So I was like, I got a carrot. Someone called me Carrot Top and got all the prop references and stuff. So that's kind of where I screwed myself a little bit. But I mean, it kind of makes it easier to rebuttal off that, honestly.
yeah, I mean, shit. Hey, Carrot Top's huge.
Right.
Motherfucker's been cracking in Vegas for a long
But it's
time.
fucking Carrot
So
Top though. So
yeah.
I'm like, God damn it.
so he's jacked as fuck. He was just on Joe Rogan.
Dude, yeah, I know. I just seen him, dude. He's fucking huge.
Yeah, he's yoked as fuck.
Right. He was tired of people making fun of his
Yeah,
ass.
no shit, right? Yeah, he used to be a punchline like that. And
Right.
people would be like, Carrot Top.
Right.
But yeah, he's the king of props.
Right, cool. Call me Carrot Top then, I
You
guess.
know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck off.
Right.
But yeah, man. So, there's so we were talking. So your era of hip hop was a little different than mine. So like I'm 38.
Right.
So I grew up on like one of my first records was Two Live Crew.
Okay.
Do you know who Two Live Crew is?
I do. I've heard.
Okay.
My dad tried to educate me a little bit about a little bit of the history.
So yeah, so I grew up like Two Live Crew fought for parental advisory laws. Like back then they had a lot of people that were trying to censor music, and that was when the parental advisory stickers came out, and like it was a whole different ball game and shit back then. But one of my first, like Two Live Crew was dirty as fuck. Like it was XXX hip hop. You know what I mean? They were talking about suck my cock and I'll eat your pussy. You know what I mean? And like people were like, holy fuck, what is
say
this?
that right?
Yeah. I mean, people were doing it, but it was like, you can't say that in a record. And so, that was their vibe coming out of Miami and shit. But so that was one of the first records I had. But then I grew up listening to a lot of like Snoop, and like I was around when Doggy Style first came out. And so for me, hearing somebody swag, like it's weird to say swag because I normally don't say that, but
that word's dead.
Yeah, it just kind of popped into my head.
It's the right word though.
But the the shit Snoop brought to the game, like he had, there was only one other person that I could think of that it was even close to bringing that style and that vibe that Snoop did to the table, and it was a rapper named Domino. They were both from Long Beach.
I never even heard of him.
Yeah, he was dope as fuck. But Snoop outshined him, and he actually, he had the pull of Death Row. You know what I mean? Death Row was just coming on. He was Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre had already been part of the World Class Wrecking Crew, and so he had a little bit of a foundation. And then Suge Knight came in and blah blah blah. But growing up on the lyricism and the way Snoop flowed to a beat and stuff like that, and getting to hear that lyricism, you know what I mean? It just solidified it for me. You know what I mean? I couldn't see myself listening to Lil Yachty or something like that just because they don't compare.
Oh, they don't compare at all. And like I grew up on Eminem, and he was just spitting the craziest shit, and that's how I definitely fell in love with it. Was Eminem's whole style, how he carried himself, and I don't know, definitely that made me fall in love with hip hop was Eminem. And still to this day, and I hate when people hate on him, man, because I'm like, dude, he's a bar legend. Like,
yeah. Well, but I mean, he broke way. He was the dude that paved the way, him and others. But that whole the dudes in his era that were pushing bars, and not even like they had a campaign out there and they were pushing it, but just dudes in that era that were true to the pen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Paved the way for Joyner Lucas's,
Kendrick Lamar,
and Chris Webby and Hopsin, and Jaron Benton, and a lot of these dudes that Simba, like we referenced him earlier. Dr. Dre said he sees great things for him coming soon, and just a lot of the dope MCs that are really pushing. I mean, and you can't sleep on the East Coast. That was all a lot of West Coast and stuff like that. But I guess Joyner Lucas from Maryland, but I mean, you can't sleep on Biggie's pen game.
Nope.
I mean, he had quite a bit of gangsta in there, but it was still slick as fuck with the pen. Nas,
Pac.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep. Tupac had bars. There's a lot of dudes that really just brought A game.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I mean, it's a weird thing too to think of because you had to pay for studio time back then versus being able to just hit the Amazon account and grab a mic and a fucking what do they call it, the chaotic eye or whatever, and set it up in mom's basement in the closet and drop some bars.
Shit, people are doing it on their cell phones now on like BandLab and making hits somehow. It's crazy.
Yeah, so it was a whole different era.
A lot
back
harder
then.
era too.
Yeah, well, and to crack a music video, there was no YouTube. You had to figure out a way to get money to film a music video and hire the crew, and then you had to have an outlet. So you had to get it on MTV2 or Bill Bellamy Jam's Countdown or fucking Yo MTV Raps or something to break a music video. You had to get an actual video to MTV and get them to fucking pioneer it. So yeah, just a different level of the game. But I mean, we wouldn't have some of these MCs probably like Token and whoever else that are,
NFs and stuff like that.
Yeah, some of these dudes that come through might not have had those opportunities. So there's ebb and flow. It's good and bad with it. You know what I mean? So all right, so let's get back to you.
Yes.
So you and I did that show, the UBI show.
Great show.
Last month. Yeah,
he killed that.
Yeah, that was dope to get to see him perform. Yeah. I got to see you perform.
Yeah. I think I had a good performance.
I did too. There's people that are still talking about it.
Appreciate that.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing you perform again in 2 weeks.
I know, JL, the JLB Hood concert. I'm excited for that too. I should hopefully have a couple new songs that I'm going to try to perform. I'm going to do that one a cappella again. I feel like that kind of drew the crowd in a little bit. I like to do that.
Hell yeah.
And my favorite one is when I step down to the crowd and let people sign it while I'm rapping. That's like hands down my favorite song to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, yeah, bro. I mean, your stage presence is definitely commanding. You get in there and you put in work, bro.
Yeah.
And it's dope. You know what I mean? So if you ain't seen my man perform on stage, get you a ticket. Come check him out because he rocks the mic.
You got to check it out. I have 3 tickets left too if you want to buy one from me.
There we go.
Got 3 left.
Holla at my boy.
Yes, please.
But yeah, man. So where do you want to go next? What you got? Are you working on an EP? Are you
currently? I'm not really working on anything at the moment. Just trying to. Been in a little bit of a rut with like mental stuff and the whole alcohol thing. So it's just been kind of a weird couple months. But I mean, I'm still writing material. I just don't really have anything that I can sit there and say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to work on. I really just want to keep building my name up, or try to get a little more shows. Just keep building my performance because I love performing.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to be an actor as a kid, so I feel like that's where like my stage presence, I can really like be myself and show the vulnerability on stage and whatnot. I think that's a key. I think that's why people really like to see me perform, is just the whole vulnerability of it. Right now, I'm just gonna try to build my confidence back up and just get back out there. Basically, is what my plan is. I don't have an album or an EP. I only have all singles, so I do need to get some. There's gonna be something soon. I promise. There's gonna be
nothing
something
wrong with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Shit, we just just keep building and build up that arsenal. You know what I
Right.
mean? My man is looking for some beats.
Right. Yes.
I'm linking him up with the homie Drama Mafia, and maybe if somebody else got some beats and they feeling like they want to team up with my man, you know what I mean? Send him some beats,
Yeah,
yo.
send them my way. Put them in the comments. I will hit you up. I mean, I'm looking for beats. I need something to work on. To keep my mind busy. I need something.
Hell yeah.
I need something.
Well, we got you in the light room, and I'm hoping we're gonna get you back in here again.
Yes,
so
yes. Definitely
I think we're gonna start
too.
Yeah, I'd like to see you around here a little more. And so you touched on something that you and I both kind of relate on. You said, we talked about this prior a little bit. You said you had kind of kicked the drinking.
Trying to kick the drinking. It's literally like almost an hour by hour thing. Honestly, when you're in your first stages, it's crazy how it just takes over like that and kind of just is stuck in your mind. Like you're just thinking about, oh, can I drink it? What happens if I drink? Like,
yeah,
tough. It's a tough thing to battle. Went to my first AA meeting though last night.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. It was weird. It was a weird vibe at first just because I was a little uncomfortable. I was like, do I really even need to go to AA? Do I actually have a problem? And then you sit yourself down like, yeah, I need to at least give it a try. They were all accepting. It was religious, a little more religious than I had expected, but just a bunch of group of people, man, that care about you getting sober and like telling their stories and how much you relate to another person. Like it makes you feel not alone.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Did
it's a cool
you talk?
thing. I did.
Okay.
I did. I talked and I shed a little tear. You know, I mean, it was weird. It
Because
was.
I know they let you decide whether to or not,
Yeah,
right? They're like,
yeah.
you can just listen or you can talk, but
Yeah.
we'd like to hear your story.
Well, and I hated it because, like, right when I walk in there, I sit down and they were like, "Is there any new people?" And of course, I'm the only new person, so I'm like, "Oh, fuck me, dude." So the rest of the night, everyone was like, when they told their stories, they were looking at me in my eye, and I was just like, "Damn, this is like
Awkward.
Right? I was like, I'm sweating, my face is all
Right.
red and whatnot. Shit. No,
Nah,
but
man.
it was nice.
You know, so I quit drinking December 3rd, 2015. So
Congratulations on that.
thanks. Mine's weird, man. I don't know. I made it this far.
Right.
Every day is like, I don't know. And your brain will do weird shit to you. It'll try and trick you because you'll be like, that dude only has a couple beers and he can go home and he doesn't drink tomorrow.
No.
Maybe I can do that. You know what I mean? And your brain will trick you. And like, so then you'll think about that. You're like, well, maybe I can. You're like, I mean, even after 7 years, I'm like, well, maybe I could just, maybe I could have a couple beers and maybe I won't be back to what I was before. And like I've had that conversation with my brother. Me and my brother quit together.
Good.
And
that helps a lot, I bet, too, is having
well, they
another
say you're not
person.
supposed to do it that way, I guess, because
really?
if one person caves, then it gives the other person license to be
Right.
like, well, fuck, we did this together, so
No, I'm gonna
you kicked the bucket, so I'm gonna go ahead and fucking
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and fucking go back to drinking too. So they say you're not supposed to do it that way. I think I did almost everything you're not supposed to do in terms of like fucking like
the 12-step program.
yeah, bro. I fucked it all. I fucked it all up. Somehow I've made it this far though.
Right, shit, you did it though.
Yeah, I mean, so far.
Right, right, day by
But
day.
I'm a fucking bartfucking which is weird, right?
There's no
like
way
I pour
I
drinks,
could, dude.
I pour drinks all night.
There's no way I could do that.
And it's fucking weird. Well, and then the other thing they say you're not supposed, like I drink NA beer now,
Right.
and it's weird because that's another thing that'll fuck with your mind because I can drink like 1 or 2 NA beers and I'm like, well, this doesn't do anything, so I'm not gonna drink a 12-pack of these. There's no point. But they say you're not supposed to do that because it can be a gateway to like sending you back down the road.
Like that would help.
So I mean, I've heard people say that same thing, and like, it's just for me, it's just something to drink to be kind of social or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I think it takes 12 of them to equal 1. But again, this is not a fucking recipe for how to quit because I don't even know how I quit because everything I did, like I said, I fucking did it wrong.
Right. But I'm only 1 day sober, so it's like.
Well, congratulations, hey man, congratulations on that, bro. Because that's all. And literally, I've heard people talk about it. I haven't been to a meeting, but I have lots of buddies that have went to meetings and shit, and they say, it's 1 day at a time. You know what I mean? You just put one foot in front of the other, and just keep going. And so it's a fucking struggle, but props, bro.
Thanks, Steve. Props to you
mean?
too, man. I mean, you got some years under your belt. That's good. That's powerful.
It's yeah. I mean, it's a weird one, dude. It is,
and it makes me think. It's like, why the fuck is alcohol still legal and weed is illegal? Like, if I could just smoke weed, dude, and like not have to worry. Like, the only thing about smoking weed is I'm just worried about the police.
Right.
And I'm about to go on probation on October 18th. So it's like if I smoke weed and fail my drug test, then boom, they're gonna fucking send me to jail.
Right.
And I got pulled over with barely anything too.
And so they gave you a possession charge.
Yep. Had to go to court. Actually, I missed my court date, so I had a fucking bench warrant out for my arrest.
Oh.
Dude, I know. Like, who misses a court date?
Well,
alcohol made me miss my court date.
You were hungover?
Dude, I was drunk, bro. Like, I would wake up in the morning and like, alcohol is just so easily accessible, especially in Iowa, which I guess isn't normal every other place. Like, my buddy from California, he was like, "What, you guys sell liquor at the gas stations?" And I was like, "Yeah." Yeah. I guess you don't find that everywhere, but just the accessibility of it, it's just too much. So it'll be like 11 o'clock during the day, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go buy myself like a shooter or two.
Sure.
And then 3 o'clock, okay, I'm gonna buy myself a pint. And then we're late at night. I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna drink my parents' alcohol because I can, because I'm at the house and they think I'm safe, and this is my first drink. But shit, I'm already 2 shots and a pint deep. So I'm one of those people. If I have one, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have another and another and another and another.
Yeah. It makes it easy, man.
Dude.
And the more comfortable you get, you're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll keep drinking.
Right, fuck it. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Slippery slope. And my parents are both drinkers, so it's like, can't really avoid it sometimes, which sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. They're not going to quit just because I have a problem. I mean, they wake up and go to work and don't drink and come back home and have their drinks, wake up, don't drink. Like,
Yeah.
but I learned at a young age, you can cure a hangover if you just, the hair of the dog, you take another shot. Cool. I feel so much fucking better, dude.
I'm done puking. I got to get a shot in me real quick.
Right. That is not the answer. That is not the answer. Nope. It does not work.
Yeah, man. I grew up in a small town in Wyoming, and everybody would be like, well, there ain't shit to do. Let's get drunk.
Right.
And so, yeah, man, I did a lot
That's
of
how it is in Iowa, too. I mean, I feel like there's not
drinking.
shit to do. Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, shit just gets wild. But, you know, on a happier note, you know what I mean? We're both fucking working on navigating that fucking treacherous water. Yeah. It's that's about all you can fucking say about that. One day at a time, baby.
Seriously. Got to do it. You just got to not do it. Basically.
Yeah. I mean,
which is so easier said than done, bro.
Right?
Because say that till I'm blue in the face and still go home and have a fucking drink.
Yeah. So okay, so what made you? Last thing I'm gonna ask on this.
Yeah, no, you're okay. Yeah.
What made you decide to quit drinking? Was it like a court mandated thing? Or
no.
You made the decision on your own?
Well, because it kind of, I noticed like when I was making public appearances, like if I was doing shows or whatever, I'd get a little too drunk. So I have lost like a couple of connections that I had in the local music scene, which kind of made my career really take like a decline. And I was like, fuck, this is not good. But then
it's a hindrance.
Yeah, but then I started getting depressed about the past, which you can't fix the past, but I mean that's a hard thing to deal with. So then I just started drinking more and more, and I was like, dude, this is I can't manage my own life. Like I'm just controlled by alcohol. Yeah. And it was just taking control, and I got to do something. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to go to like rehab. I've been to Broadlawns and done the little inpatient detox stuff, and it makes you feel a little bit crazier. Yeah. So I just need to grow the fuck up. I mean, I'm 25. Gotta take some accountability, and
those are fucking big words, bro.
Dude, I know. It's huge.
I think you figured it out quicker than I did. I mean,
that's what they said in AA. They're like, man, I wish I figured that out when I was 25.
Yeah.
And I don't even have it figured out. So I'm like, I hope I have it figured out. I mean, shit.
Hey, just the fact that you recognized it and you were like, bro, something's got to change.
Yeah, it's not good.
And that's
right.
That's, you know, that's the first step.
Yeah.
Whether you say out loud, hey, I'm fucking up, or you know what I mean, whatever. I mean, that little internal voice that goes, hey, Mayday.
Right, it's not good. You're going down.
We should figure something out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
like,
quick, too.
Yeah. So that's dope, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's
I'm just really hoping that like the people that I have had like the bad experiences with will like hopefully forgive me, or at least.
Oh yeah, bro.
That's the worst. That's the worst part, because you can't go back and change someone's opinion on you. Once they have an opinion about you, they're gonna ride by that.
I think I fucked up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I fucked up a lot of shit. Sometimes I wonder how my wife is still with me. Like the fucking goofy shit I used to do, bro. Yeah, like I was pretty sloppy there for a while, and so you know what I mean. Like I think people understand, especially when you start making changes.
Right.
People go, oh, you know what I mean? Like that dude's a different person than that other dude was, and not to say that one person was good or one person was bad, but just your ability to make decisions was impaired.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's not a scapegoat or something you can ride forever. But when a person goes, oh yeah, I should make some changes. I think people are, it's pretty humbling when people decide that when people decide to make a change,
right.
Other people take notice and they go, oh, that dude, you know what I mean? Like it gives you a different kind of, people value that. Sure. I guess that's a good way to put it. People value it, and I think that it's easier for somebody to go, oh, you know what I mean? That, drunk shit. You know what I mean?
And that's and thankfully that's what it is. Because like, I mean, I carry myself to be at least like a kind, caring person, and that's what I talk about in my music. So people like know the true me. Because I was sober for a year and a half until, I don't remember when I relapsed, but I was sober for a long time. Like when I started working with Doozy, and like Loco Buki and Gabe Cox and Loren Parks and people like that who are kind of making a staple in the scene right now. I was sober for all of that. And so like they know that I'm just fucking up and getting drunk. So I just, one of those things, if I can show that I'm changing, hopefully I can get back to where I was. Cause dude, I was getting there, bro.
Hell
like
yeah.
the jumpsuits were working and like people were liking it, but then I just started fucking up.
You know,
cause the scene's crazy now. Like Des Moines is getting good.
I think one of the coolest things I noticed when I quit drinking was how much money I fucking saved.
Dude.
People say that to me all the time too. Like I'll be at the bar and with buddies or whatever, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, "Oh, I'll get a round of shots." And then I'm like, "Oh no, I don't need one. I don't drink." And they'll be like, "What do you mean? Like you're not drinking tonight? You hungover?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't drink." "You don't drink at all?" I'm like, "Nah."
It blows their mind.
I don't drink. And they're like, "Bro, I'd save so much money if I didn't fucking drink." And I'm like, because I mean, again, if I have an NA beer, I have one or two, and I'm like, all right, well, this isn't doing
pointless.
anything. So I'm I'll switch to club soda or what. And for whatever reason, club soda really helped me. And I noticed other people do that too because it's got the fizz and the bubbles of like a beverage, alcoholic beverage, or or mixed drink or whatever. But it's just bubbly water, and so that does. I feel like that does help a lot of people.
That's kind of like why I've been trying to do like Red Bull and coffee. A lot of people at the AA, they just drink coffee 24/7.
Yeah,
kind of been helping. You get that little caffeine kick, but
yeah, I think for me, club soda really worked.
All right, I'm about to try that.
I switched to that pretty quickly, and I work in a restaurant, as do you, and so club soda is really easy to get a hold of. And not only that, fucking hydrate the shit out of yourself. Versus all those years of dehydrating yourself drinking. Now you just putting the water in all the time. Actually, when I quit drinking, I lost 40 pounds.
Oh shit.
I mean, I think part of it was I'd be drunk on my way home and pass Hardee's and be like, "Ooh, Monster Burger."
Oh my god, but it never tasted any better, dude.
Yeah, but it's so much easier to I just go home and I don't have to eat a Monster Burger.
Eat a fucking salad or
some
shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, I still eat like shit, but
I mean, don't we
I'm
all?
not eating a fucking Monster Burger at 2 o'clock in the morning after I drank fucking an 18-pack of beer.
Dude, right, and that beer, that really starts building a gut. That's what I've noticed, man. I used to have a 6-pack and shit, and now I got a little bit of a little lump. I'm like,
yeah, I never had a 6-pack, but
mine was a skinny 6-pack. It's not like I was working out or nothing.
You said I was malnutrition, right? All right, so we got the show coming up.
Yes, we do.
We got we were gonna talk about in dope hip hop news. We like to tap in and drop a little hip hop news on y'all. In case you don't know, Snoop and Dre are talking about the 30th anniversary of Snoop Dogg's album Doggy Style, and in November. Breaking news, Snoop and Dre are dropping a new record. They've been in the studio working together. This is almost going to sound like it's a punchline to a joke, but Snoop and Dre are dropping a new album in November, and it's the 30th anniversary of Doggy Style. And so the Snoop Dogg's new album is called Missionary. And
which is genius.
We talked about that the other day, and I think that's funny as fuck.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it because I mean, for the times nowadays, people are gonna get a laugh out of that.
Yeah,
people are gonna get a laugh out of that, and I really think he should bring Lil Dicky on one of the tracks, do a professional rapper too. I mean, I think it's only fitting. I think that would be hilarious.
That's
dude.
dope.
I think that would be hilarious.
That's dope. Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see who the features are. I haven't heard a single track listing or anything. Yesterday was the first time I heard anything.
When you told me, that was the first time I ever heard about it. Was when you told me, yeah.
Yeah. So on another little cool tidbit before we shut her down for the night, so you know the McDonald's song, do 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 do.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. You know who made that?
Pusha T, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
And how he was supposed to get he only got like 500,000 or something like that.
Oh, I don't know, but I know he got royalty checks for it. There's been a discrepancy about who actually came up with it, and they said some of the dudes from Neptunes maybe came up with it, and some different people. But I guess Pusha T has check stubs for McDonald's paying him for it.
I've seen that.
And it's kind of funny because Arby's has a new commercial, and Pusha T did the track for him. It's a diss track to the McRib, and it's a real rib sandwich from Arby's. And so it's kind of funny that he wrote the jingle from McDonald's, but he's dope with the diss tracks. I mean, he ripped up Drake.
Oh my God. What was that? Yeah, the Adonis.
Yeah.
Whatever. That was crazy.
Yeah, he went in on Drake.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's pretty dope that and he's a fucking lyricist, you know what I mean? Like Pusha T, come on. So Google it. It's on the Arby's fucking YouTube page. But Pusha T is shitting all over McDonald's with this new fucking Arby's commercial, and they actually have a dude with his face painted that looks like fucking Ronald McDonald and shit in the commercial. But it's hard as hell. And I thought it was cool that Arby's is getting in the hip hop game.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty dope to me. So that's your hip hop news for the day. And just 2 little tidbits. Watch for that Dr. Dre album in November.
It's gonna be legendary.
Yeah. I mean, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre album. It's produced by Dre. Snoop. I'm sure Dre's gonna drop some vocals on it. It'll be interesting to see who else drops some motherfucking vocals on it. And watch for new music from my guy Kyler Tobias. We out. This is your boy, that motherfucker Steve.
Kyler Tobias.
And we're coming at you live from the Light Room in Des Moines, Iowa. And we out.
We've been known to snatch a piece or two. Y'all can't take over cause we gon' eat the you. Rock steady like a ginger brought Aretha through. This shit torture and I'ma keep feeding you. On that East Coast shit, y'all better duck down. Price on his dome, 5 on it like yuck mouth. When the plug get knocked, that's when the price jumps. American Nightmare, that's where the Spice One. Rappers running like Ricky in the alleyway. Putting an end to the week, no Saturday. They want static, get it shaking like hash is clay. Passionate thugs mixing Douce with Alizé.
Don't play with us, them goons ain't got you safe enough. Yelling fuck 'em like Smokey off the angel dust. My life so real, sounds like I made it up. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up. Dangerous, sharper than a razor's touch. We hit that script and get the cake up. God hate ugly, so ain't no saving us. Been up so long, I don't remember waking up.